Unsung Heroes. How Enigma Codebreakers secretly shortened World War II by 2 years. Imagine holding in your hands a device that could save millions of lives and end the most destructive war in human history years earlier than expected. Not a weapon of extraordinary power, but something far more subtle. The key to unlock your enemy's most closely guarded secrets. This isn't fiction. This is the story of how a group of mathematicians, linguists, chess champions, and puzzle solvers achieved what many considered impossible, breaking Nazi Germany's unbreakable Enigma Code, and, in doing so, changing the course of World War II. The year is 1939. Europe stands on the precipice of a conflict that will engulf the world. Nazi Germany has a decisive advantage, a sophisticated encryption machine called Enigma. The Germans believe it renders their military communications completely secure. They're convinced no human mind could possibly decipher the trillions of potential configurations without the specific settings used each day. They were wrong. The German Enigma machine looked like a fancy typewriter, but its inner workings represented cutting-edge cryptographic technology. Developed after World War I and refined throughout the 1920s and 30s, the military-grade Enigma used a system of rotating wheels, electrical circuits, and plug boards to scramble messages into seemingly random gibberish. What made Enigma so formidable was its constantly changing cipher. Every time a key was pressed, the machine's configuration changed, creating an encryption pattern that shifted throughout the message. With multiple rotors and a plug board offering an astronomical number of possible settings, the Germans believed their communications were mathematically impossible to crack without possessing the daily key settings. The story of breaking Enigma actually begins before the war, in Poland. 3 brilliant Polish mathematicians, Marian Rejewski, Jerzy Różycki, and Henryk Zygalski, made the first crucial breakthroughs in the 1930s. Using mathematical analysis and early computing devices they called bombus, they managed to reverse engineer aspects of the Enigma's operation. As war approached and Germany added complexity to the Enigma system, the Poles realized they could no longer continue alone. In a pivotal move that would alter the course of history, they shared their findings with British and French intelligence in July 1939, just weeks before Poland was invaded. The British established a code-breaking center at Bletchley Park, a Victorian mansion in Buckinghamshire. This unassuming location would become the scene of one of history's greatest intellectual achievements. At its peak, nearly 10,000 people worked there in complete secrecy. Among them was a young Cambridge mathematician named Alan Turing. Brilliant, unconventional, and intensely focused, Turing would prove instrumental in cracking Enigma. Building on the Polish work, he designed the bomb, an electromechanical device that dramatically accelerated the process of testing possible Enigma settings. Turing understood that pure mathematics alone wouldn't defeat Enigma. The codebreakers needed to exploit patterns, German operational procedures, and linguistic clues. They looked for what they called cribs, predictable content in messages, like weather reports that often contained the word Wetter, German for weather, or standardized military greetings. The work was grueling and pressure-filled. Each day brought new challenges as the Germans changed their key settings at midnight. The codebreakers raced against time, knowing that each hour without intelligence meant Allied ships and servicemen were at greater risk. By early 1940, Bletchley Park achieved its first major success, breaking the Enigma key used by the German Air Force. This was followed by cracking Naval Enigma, a particularly difficult variant with additional security features. The breakthrough against Naval Enigma proved especially crucial in the Battle of the Atlantic, where German U-boats were threatening to strangle Britain's maritime supply lines. The intelligence gleaned from decrypted Enigma messages was codenamed Ultra. To preserve the secret of Enigma's compromise, extraordinary measures were taken. A complex system ensured that actions taken based on ultra-intelligence could be attributed to other sources, like reconnaissance aircraft or spies. Sometimes valuable intelligence couldn't be acted upon because doing so would reveal that Enigma had been broken. Ultra's impact on the war was profound and multifaceted. In North Africa, it gave British General Montgomery detailed knowledge of Rommel's forces and plans. During the D-Day landings, it helped confirm that German high command had fallen for Allied deception about where the invasion would occur. Throughout Europe, it enabled the disruption of German supply lines and military movements. Perhaps most significantly, ultra-intelligence was crucial in winning the Battle of the Atlantic. By tracking U-boat movements, Allied convoys could be routed around wolf packs of submarines. Admiral Karl Dönitz, commander of the German submarine fleet, periodically suspected his communications might be compromised, but investigations repeatedly concluded that Enigma remained secure. The Germans simply couldn't believe their system could be broken. The impact of ultra-intelligence wasn't just tactical, but strategic. With detailed knowledge of German capabilities, deployments, and often intentions, Allied leadership could make informed decisions about resource allocation and priorities. They could distinguish between genuine threats and diversions, and exploit vulnerabilities with precision. Historians and military experts widely agree that the breaking of Enigma shortened World War II by approximately 2 years. Winston Churchill told King George VI that Bletchley was his golden goose that never cackled. The work done there likely saved millions of lives that would have been lost had the conflict continued through 1947. Yet perhaps most remarkable about this achievement is how long it remained secret. The Codebreakers of Bletchley Park signed the Official Secrets Act and maintained their silence for decades. Many took their contributions to the grave, never telling even their closest family members about their crucial wartime role. It wasn't until the 1970s that the first details about Bletchley Park began to emerge publicly. The full extent of the Ultra operation and its impact on the war would only gradually become known through declassification, memoirs, and historical research in subsequent decades. Beyond its immediate strategic value, the work at Bletchley Park had far-reaching implications for computing and information technology. Turing's theoretical work laid foundations for modern computing concepts, while the practical challenges of code breaking spurred development of increasingly sophisticated machines. The Colossus, designed by Tommy Flowers to break the even more complex Lorentz cipher used by German High Command, is considered the world's first programmable electronic digital computer. These early computing machines foreshadowed the digital revolution that would transform human society in the decades following the war. The breaking of Enigma demonstrates how intellectual power can be as decisive in warfare as physical might. It shows how mathematics, linguistics, psychology, and engineering can converge to overcome seemingly insurmountable challenges. Yet, there's also a profound human element to this story. The Codebreakers were diverse: academics, chess champions, linguists, crossword puzzle experts, and many women who excelled in these fields but had limited professional opportunities in civilian life. They worked punishing hours under immense pressure, knowing that each breakthrough could save thousands of lives. For Alan Turing, the story has both triumph and tragedy. Despite his monumental contribution to defeating Nazism, he faced persecution in post-war Britain for his homosexuality. Convicted of gross indecency in 1952, he accepted chemical castration as an alternative to prison. He died in 1954, apparently by suicide. It would take until 2013 for him to receive a posthumous royal pardon. The legacy of the Enigma Codebreakers reminds us of the power of human ingenuity in the face of seemingly impossible challenges. It demonstrates how critical thinking, creativity, and collaboration can overcome technological barriers that appear unbreakable. As we face our own seemingly insurmountable challenges today, from climate change to pandemic diseases, the lesson of Bletchley Park offers hope. With the right minds working together, even the most complex problems can yield to human determination and intelligence. The next time you use a computer, send an encrypted message, or simply enjoy the freedom secured by Allied victory in World War II, spare a thought for the unsung heroes of Bletchley Park, the codebreakers who shortened a world war through the power of their minds, and who kept their world-changing secret for decades afterward. Their victory wasn't won with bullets or bombs, but with brain power, proving that sometimes the mightiest weapon of all is human ingenuity.